how you weren't sure with Coach Bevel on the call. You weren't sure about whether James Robinson was dinged up or something like that. In a situation like that, do you feel like you talked about not wanting to micromanage, but are there situations where you just absolutely have to use your veto power if you feel strongly enough to change things?
Yeah, I do use the veto power quite often. In that situation, I saw Carlos, and I trust Carlos. Carlos is running hard as well, and I didn't make the change. We were discussing the play, and did not make the change at the running back position.
Was that just because you had the confidence in Carlos to do the job just as well as James?
At that moment, I didn't. When I saw Carlos there, I didn't ask why James not in there, because we were discussing the play. I saw Carlos, and I trust Carlos, and obviously Bevel trusts Carlos.
So it was no issue about injury to Robinson?
No injury.
Can you talk a little bit about the process to throw the challenge flag in the second half on that near fumble?
Yeah, it's an interesting way we do it. Zach is a tremendous guy that's upstairs, and the official was right with me. And I said, I'm going to challenge this. And he said, Coach, I already looked at it. And then I kept staring at the video. And then the guys upstairs says, Coach, that is a fumble. It's an open, they kept saying open hand. It's an open hand. That is a fumble. Critical point of the game. And I'm looking at it, and the official was actually great. I said, I'm going to challenge this thing. He said, Coach, you can challenge this. And upstairs, they were adamant that was a fumble. And I held on to it. I said, how much more time do I have on this thing till I can't throw it? But the officials were great on the sideline. The communication was great. I said, okay, and then boom. I really believed it was, and so did the guys upstairs.
Do you feel like yesterday was a potential turning point for Caleb on?
I'm sorry?
Do you feel like yesterday was a potential turning point for Caleb on?
Oh, he played great. Yeah, he had one miss, one mental error, but he, I think a sack and a half, a great play on Henry. He's been a product of hard work, great attitude. We need him to play like that.
Urban, are you going to revisit the kicking situation again this week? Is it still an open competition?
Yeah, it's an open competition, and we're also searching. So slipped on the extra point, and 55-yarder, 54-yarder hit the crossbar, and that's APB. So there'll be some competition this week, but we got to make a decision here.
When you have confidence in a kicker in the past, especially the guy between 40 and 50 is fairly automatic, does that help your play calling? Or does it help
sure
the play
does.
calling of the offensive coordinator?
Well, it helps everything. It helps the momentum of a game. Obviously, it helps the points, but it helps the momentum of a game. We've had a bunch of those where you get a decent drive, and then all of a sudden you just lose that energy on the sideline. And then obviously the confidence in get it to this yard line, and you usually walk away with 3 points.
Can you get more aggressive play calling if you've got a kicker who's hot, who's kind of, you got 3 points in your pocket?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does the kicker situation, because you're going to London, you need a guy that's vaccinated, you need a guy that's got a passport, does that kind of complicate things, in terms of bringing new guys in to look at?
It does, and we couldn't even talk to a kicker that's not vaccinated because you have to sit for 5 days. So that's what Trent and those guys are doing right now. I don't have much more detail on that, but if it's Lambo or Matt, they're going to compete, and if we want to find one that's vaccinated, then it's got to be a fairly quick decision.
A lot of the issues throughout the year have been detail-oriented, communication or personnel groupings or substitution, whatever. Are you coaching differently now than you did in college? You had a reputation of being a real details guy in Florida and Ohio State. Are you coaching differently?
I spend most of my time on offense and kicking game, and I'm not because of me, but I think Bevel's, I like our identity right now. If you say, what's the identity of the Jacksonville Jaguar offense, it's a physical offense that runs the ball and balance. Our goal is always 250, 250. I want to say we were 250, 200. That's what we want to be. Our tailbacks are running hard, both of them. Our offense line's coming off the ball, physical. I thought Trevor, in his last 3 games, has been, he's on a steady progress. So I like the progress of the offense. Obviously turnovers were all but stopped, and then we had that one that was hit early, gave up 7 points. the detail there's some communication issues on defense. That's what we have to keep working on.
So, but have you changed, you know, when you first took the job, you said you wanted to surround yourself with guys who could handle a lot of the you know, those things, and you wanted to be more kind of high level. Have you done that, or do you need to be more down in the weeds on things?
That's a good question. That's something I made a point that I'm evaluating everything. You know, I was a certified nut in college, and I'm not that now, and so detail oriented is something I'm looking at.
Did you get any reports on Linder today?
Yeah, high ankle and MCL, so it's as bad as that sounds, that was much better than the initial. So we're going to get him back. We're going to 4 to 5.
Anybody else back there?
Yeah, Roy should be back. Who else we got?
Miles Jack.
Miles Jack's, it turned out to be an oblique. I think someone said back was an oblique, and that's day to day. We'll find out more. That's all how he heals. And Tyson should be, you know, we'll see how he heals up too.
What's the challenge this week for you, getting ready to play a game in London and getting ready for an opponent at the same time?
My first trip, but the Jags have done it. We had many meetings throughout the summer just so we could, there's a lot of new people here that aren't familiar with it, and we have a pretty good plan. Our players are very involved in the plan. Linder was one that was I hung with him, and we talked about the positive, negative, going out early, going out late. When I say going out late, going early in the week or later in the week. So there's a challenge. Challenge is also you're down 2 offensive linemen. Probably our most consistent group on the team right now, and you're down two good players, AJ and Brandon. You know, obviously DJ Chark, I just saw him, you know, not having him, so we're dinged a little bit right now. So, but so is everyone in the NFL. Those are the challenges, and you're facing a team that has a lot of talent, and they play a unique system on offense and defense.
Several weeks ago, we talked about Trevor, and he talked about trying to be more patient, not necessarily trying to go for the deep shot all the time and taking that stuff underneath. Has that been the biggest growth you've seen out of him the last couple of weeks?
I see so much. I see so much growth from him. I see so much in leadership. I see so much in his decision making, his accuracy, his trust. You know, it's funny. It's not funny. But it's the reality of a quarterback relationship with a wide receiver, whether it be Marvin, and now he's getting a little good feel for that tight end. We got Dan Arnold, and the best quarterbacks should coordinate a defense. So the best quarterback should be able to go coordinate the defense, and I see that happening. I see his knowledge of defense with Coach Schottenheimer doing a really good job, but his progress is he's very comfortable, and I'm going to add this: he's an absolute warrior. I mean, he is a competitive maniac.
James Robinson's usage was cut in half, basically from the first half to the second half. I think 11 touches in the first half, 6 touches in the second half. How do you sort of get him more involved? I mean, obviously he's probably one of your better playmakers.
Yeah, he's playing really well. I didn't realize that. I'll check after this, but there's no intent other than if he gets spelled. You know, I know after a long run they yank him to, you know, get his win back, but he's playing at high level. He's another competitive maniac.
Trevor said yesterday that he feels comfortable with quarterback sneaks. Just how can, you know, the team and him really get on the same page to get that to be a part of the offense?
That was our staff. The offense coaches said that Trevor is comfortable doing anything.
It was more so Bevel being comfortable with.
Yeah, the comment made to me was, we have not done it live. No, you say, Trevor, go do this. Trevor's going to do it to the best of his ability. But that was, that came up over the headsets, and he said, we have not done that live.
Have you been doing goal line live in practice at all?
Live?
Yeah.
We don't do much live. Training camp we did, and obviously not enough for quarterback sneak.
3 sacks yesterday. Did the pressure reflect that? Did it feel like you got good pressure yesterday?
I'm sorry?
Did it feel like you got good sacks yesterday?
Our best day pressuring a quarterback. Yeah, it was our best day. Even just missed an opportunity. Shaq had a pick 6 right in front of him. You know, until that changes, the score, you know, the game of football from 50 years ago to be another 50 after this is about the ball. And unless we start getting turnovers, you know, in 8 games we have 1. 8 games we have 1. And it's not because it's, you know, we're out there working, I mean, turnover circuit, doing this, doing that. I mean, it's, you just got to step in front of one and make a play. And when that does, I think this whole thing changes.
Seems like yesterday the receivers were maybe having an issue coming off of blocks or coming out of their coverage when Trevor was sort of scrambling around. How much do you guys practice those scramble drills in practice?
Every week. Yeah, I'll have to go recheck with the coaches. I didn't see that was a, you mean when he scrambled?
He's scrambling around and they're not really getting sprayed.
I'll go back and look, but that's a weekly drill.
Was there any particular reason on the fiscal? Just taking them out, or is it just that they just couldn't find them?
No, what we did is when we lost Shark, he had to go to play outside as well. But he was point of attack. Many times it just didn't get him the ball. And that's, you know, that's something we have to make sure he gets the ball. Because you saw the one that he had, he's dynamic, and he's arguably our best playmaker right now.
How do you feel about your coverage of the linebackers? There one drop back, Chase on drop back, and he really wasn't covering anyone.
Yeah, that was a missed assignment. It was a man coverage, missed assignment, miscommunication. That's an area not our strength right now.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, guys.